All right, so I am workshopping two titles for this video. The first one is how to find private lenders and get unlimited funding for real estate deals. The second one is the secret to raising private money for real estate, even if you're just getting started. So I'm gonna go with one of those. You'll see it on this video, but for now, let's get rolling. If you think you need your own money to start and invest in real estate, you are dead wrong. You see, I've gone from the middle class to owning $50 million worth of real estate because I figured out this one skill of raising money. You see, you need money to invest in real estate. It just doesn't have to be your money. So if you're willing to sit with me through this video, I'm confident that you will have a much better grasp of how to raise money from private lenders so you can wholesale more deals, so you can flip more deals, and so you can buy more rental properties, all using little to none of your own money. I know it because, again, I own $50 million in real estate I bought using none of my own money and raised over $75 million in real estate between my rentals and fix and flips to do that from normal everyday people. And in this video, I'm gonna break down what private lenders are. I'm gonna tell you how to find them. At the end of this video, I'm even going to give you some free resources, yes, free, that can help you explore this topic even further. I remember when I got started investing in real estate in 2014, and I didn't know my left hand from my right hand as far as becoming a real estate investor. I didn't even know what a wholesale was. But what I did know was you could borrow money from other people to flip real estate. I remember watching those HGTV shows, Flip or Flop or Fixer Upper, and I remember in one of them, somebody going to their rich friend that was a lawyer and having them fund the deal and split the profits with the actual investor. I think that was Flip or Flop with Tariq El Moussa and his wife Christina at the time. I remember him going to his friend, getting the funds for the deal, going and fixing up the project and splitting the profits with him. So that concept was ingrained in me even before I started investing in real estate. I just didn't know what to do with that concept. So we're gonna dig into what you can do with that concept now. First, let me talk to you a little bit about what actual private money and private lending is, because most people, I'm talking a vast majority of people, do not understand what private lending actually is. Private lenders are individuals who invest money that they have access to into you as a real estate investor. They're not companies. They're not gonna ask for your credit score. They're not gonna do an income verification, and they're probably not even gonna underwrite the deal. They're just somebody that you know or you have a connection with that is willing to invest in real estate through you. It's not the mafia. It's not somebody sitting with $10 million in the bank. It's an engineer. It's an insurance agent. It's a teacher. It's a police officer. It's a sales manager. It's an architect. It's a firefighter. The reason I use that handful of middle-class jobs as an example is because those are the exact jobs of my private lenders. That's the first thing that I want you to write down or understand and take away from this video is private lenders are the people that you already know. It's not usually a rich parent. If you have one, great. I didn't and still don't, but if you have access to a family member that has a lot of money, utilize that access. Most of us don't have that luxury. So private lenders are everyday W-2 middle-class corporate working Americans. They're people that have access to funds, not necessarily have it sitting as cash in their bank. Anybody you know that's lived in their house for the past 10 or 15 years, they're a potential private money lender. They can utilize a home equity line of credit or HELOC and borrow against the equity in their house and lend it to you. For example, if somebody bought their personal residence 15 years ago for $350,000, which is a pretty common price point, that house today is most likely worth $700,000 to $800,000. And unless they've refinanced or pulled out a home equity line of credit already, there's a few $100,000 worth of equity they can pull out and give to you. And of course, it costs them money to borrow it, but they just charge you more. For example, somebody pulls out a $200,000 line of credit, the bank charges them 7% on that, they charge you 12%. So they're making the difference, the arbitrage, which is 5% on their money without doing anything, and they're helping you, and it's all backed by real estate. At the end of this video, I am going to give you my pitch and also give you some scripts, so make sure to hang around for that as well. Another example would be somebody that has contributed to an IRA over the past 10, 15, 20 years of their life. Again, this middle-class corporate employee, they can self-direct that IRA. It's the #1 place that private lenders get money from. So again, I'm trying to get across to you right now that they don't have a 500 grand in the bank, right? They have a IRA that they've been contributing to for a long time that they can't touch for a while, that they can borrow through and lend to you. So it's a way for them to use some of that IRA money, it's called a self-directed IRA, and lend you as a real estate investor, and they get a tax-deferred return on their money because it's sitting there and they're not using it now. Very similarly, you can borrow against a 401k. So hopefully you're starting to understand what I was trying to say earlier. These are normal, everyday people that have access to funds not necessarily sitting in their checking account. So you're not really gonna meet these people. They're people you already know. You just have to explain to them that you are a new or experienced real estate investor that's looking to partner with them on a deal and give them a great preferred interest, double-digit return on their money. If you want to meet people, you can do that as well. You can go to networking events and meetups, and sometimes there's private lenders there. Lots of times it's hard money lenders pretending to be private money lenders. If somebody asks you for your credit score, or they have a website or an application to fill out and they say they're a private lender, they're not. They can still maybe lend you money, and there's nothing wrong with that. They just don't get all the benefits that you get by using an actual real private money lender. That's a hard money lender. I'll do a video on that one soon, but private money lenders are different. Another place you can find some of these private lenders is online via social media. The place that I've seen the most success has been Facebook. Your target audience, somebody in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, your typical private lender is probably on Facebook by posting something on your feed and either pinning it to your top or just hopefully tagging them so they can see it. Now, there are certain things you can say and cannot say when it comes to raising funds. I'm gonna give you what you can say, again, at the end of this video with the script. All right, now let's get into some typical terms of what private lenders actually offer or what you can bring to the table. Then we're gonna get into how to approach them, and then I'm gonna give you my 4-pillar pitch. The beautiful thing about private lenders is the terms are whatever you and they decide that they are. With hard money lenders and other funding sources that come from actual funding institutions, there's an underwriting process, there's usually a high interest rate, and there's not always flexibility for you to be able to do things that you want to actually do to get the deal done. So a typical private money lender is going to give you 8 to 12% annualized. Most of the time, you probably start in that 10 to 12% range, do a few deals with them, then work down to that 8% range. Which again, it's annualized. So if they give you a $100,000 loan and they do a 12% interest rate annualized on that, it's $1,000 a month. So if you have the project out for 6 months, it's $6,000. It's not $12,000. It's on a month-to-month basis prorate. So in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that bad, and it may sound kind of high to you, but most other funding sources are several percentage points higher. It's usually a year loan or shorter. Hopefully you can get the project done quicker than that. And you're offering them these terms to try to win them over because they're probably getting a few percentage on their money somewhere else, or if they're using a home equity line of credit, they need to cover their interest rate that they're going to be paying the bank plus some extra. So you need to sweeten the deal by giving them, again, that 8 to 12%, but that's gonna be probably the cheapest money you're gonna get. All right, now let's talk about how to approach private lenders. You're not going to be approaching them with, hey, please do me a favor and lend me money. No, you're giving them the best return, the safest investment that they're ever going to make. I'm gonna give you the pitch here in a couple minutes, but they are not doing you a favor. If anything, you're doing them a favor. It is pretty much a win-win situation. But if you go to them desperately and say, please give me your money, make this thing work, they're gonna have the upper hand if you're negotiating rates, and they're also gonna be less likely to actually do the deal with you. So again, the rates and terms can be whatever you want, whatever you decide upon. There is no specific way to do it. When I first got started, I did an 8% loan with my private money lender on my very first property. I bought it, fixed it up, plan to sell it and pay them their money back plus interest, just like we talked about at the very beginning of this video, with a fix or flop type of setup. And at the end of that project, I didn't have enough money to pay them back their principal plus interest. I paid them all their principal, which was huge, and a little bit of interest, but they let me roll the additional interest at a higher rate than we decided upon into the next deal that was already under contract. That's an advantage that you have working with private money lenders instead of hard money lenders, because a hard money lender would never do that. All right, let's get into the pitch, and then I'm gonna give you the scripts. So I call this a 4-pillar pitch. This is a way to approach and actually ask for the money from a private money lender. This is a way for you to put them in a very, very secure mindset that their money is getting placed in a good investment. There are 4 parts of this. You can use one of them, you can use 3 of them, you can use all of them. It's completely up to you. Let me explain how I go about, or how I kind of went about pitching. Number one is offering a personal guarantee. You don't have to do this. I did a lot when I first got started and still occasionally do, but you're personally guaranteeing their return. A lot of people's pushback is, I'm not gonna lend you the money, or they don't think someone will if you don't have any skin in the game, because they're giving you the money for the purchase plus the rehab. Guess what? If you're personally guaranteed their return, you're putting all of your skin in the game. You have to have confidence in yourself, you have to have confidence in the deal, but if you're willing to do this, why wouldn't they invest the money? You're giving them a personally guaranteed 8, 10, 12% return. They're not getting that anywhere else in any investment that they do. Maybe they're getting some type of guarantee, but it's at a much lower percentage, or maybe they're getting a higher percentage return, but it's not guaranteed. Number two is very, very simple. Just create a promissory note where you're promising to pay them back. Number one, the personal guarantee is a personal thing. Number two is a promissory note. It is a document. It's not filed anywhere, but it's a legal document that lays out the terms of the actual investment, plus the interest and any other types of legal things that you want put down in this document. It's a simple promissory note. There are a ton of them online. Use ChatGPT to create one. It's pretty good. Number three, add them as an additional insured on the insurance policy. You're buying a property, you need insurance on that property. All you have to do is, whether it's your insurance agent or insurance broker, you're just putting them as an additional insured on the insurance policy. They're just gonna ask you for their name and address and phone number, and that goes on the insurance policy. And that way, if the house burns down, they have rights to the actual insurance funds. So very simple, free thing to do, but again, you're giving them security, you're personally guaranteeing it, you're showing a promissory note, you're putting them on the insurance policy, you're giving them a lot of security and why they should invest in you. Number four is a big one, and that is adding them to the deed of trust or having them put a lien on the property. This gives them foreclosable rights or allows them to cloud the title, meaning you can't sell it until they get their money back. Which this one is usually one that most people do because you're going into this in good faith and you want everything to work out and you want them to get their money back. So allowing them to have some type of ownership or legal rights to the property until they are paid back plus interest should give them a ton of security. It's something that a title company can file when you actually close on the property. To quickly recap, again, you don't have to do all four of these. You can just do the promissory note and insurance. You can just do the personal guarantee. You can do all of them. You can do none of them. But if you want to close the deal by giving them a personal guarantee, by creating a promissory note, by putting them on the insurance policy, and by allowing them to be on the deed, gives them the maximum level of security, again, on an 8 to 12% return basis. They're not getting that type of return, that type of security in any investment they'll ever make. All right, so I promised you the scripts. If you would like access to the scripts that I have used and my students use to raise money, simply go to the description of this video. The link will be there. There's also a few other freebies in there as well. All right, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and check out this video over here where I show you how to buy real estate the right way. See you next one.